We are Group 3 and our topic is Tolerant Society. So, what is tolerant society? A tolerant city refers to everyone who lives in the city, regardless of wealth, sex, age, race, and religion belief, and has the opportunity to get full social participation and the right to enjoy the benefits of urban development. Meanwhile, society has a strong social cohesion, and everyone has a strong sense of identity. Thousands of years ago, Confucius thought that a gentleman gets along with others, but does not necessarily agree with them. The Grand Canal is a great project in ancient China. It is more than 2,700 kilometers now, connecting Beijing and Hangzhou. Zhenze town is located along it, with a long history and great cultural atmosphere. Zhenze is close to Tai Lake, which has 2,000 years of history, as an ancient town in Jiangnan area.
In the past 20 years, the population structure of Zhenze town have turned to the diversification mode.
With the rapid development of urbanization and industrialization, great changes have taken place in the traditional water town. This video will interview in 3 typical sites of Zhenze to find out how the fast developing Zhenze town will face the challenges of the tolerant society. The waterfront platform used to be an important place for the residents to communicate with each other. The diversity of people and activities promote the interactions between them. People build temples along the river, the school strengthened the social cohesion, and drinking tea along the river space enhanced the cultural identity of the people. And the trade line along the river is the channel for the exchanging of trade with other cities. The river culture has become a part of the tolerant factors in Zhenze. The convenience of reaching this place is also very important. In Asian towns, there are many alleys making a huge network, enabling people to successfully get to this activity space. Now, the lifestyle, which is mainly depend on the river, has changed. Many illegal buildings affect people's travel paths, especially in the evening. In some places, the road is blocked, which affects people to reach the activity space. In this case, it damages the right of people to gain public interest. The permeable issue should not only be considered in public space, but also in some private buildings. The wall around the buildings make people unable to access to heritage and important space freely, which will decline social cohesion and sense of identity. Then, there is not only one private heritage building in the Asian town, but orange buildings shows a huge number of privatization monuments. Due to the privatization, these monuments make it difficult for residents to get funds, and the maintenance of historic buildings are also very difficult. Fortunately, the government has put forward a new policy that wants to turn this private heritage into public buildings through the government purchase, so that everyone can access to cultural heritage, and also facilitate better maintenance of the houses, as well as strengthen a sense of social identity and belongings. This is the intersection area between Zhenze town and new urban district. Besides the problem with the tourists, there are also some conflicts between local people and migrants. The modern factories built along the river has brought a lot of field laborers to the Zhenze. Most of the old houses in the street was rented by the local people to the migrants, because they do not have money to buy the houses in modern street. Then the rubbish and the mess made the area messy, and few local people were willing to walk through this road. The street was isolated. It will cause the separation of different people, reduce the sense of identity and belonging. Fortunately, the government makes policies to encourage the constructions of migrant workers' quality dormitories to provide better housing for them. This area is the most obvious impact of urbanization and industrialization, which is also an important node of urban-rural interaction. Great changes have taken place in the traditional fabric after rapid transformation. People's original space in the river is occupied by gate community, new villages, and factories, which makes people unable to reach this space. The original social relations were isolated by the wars, and people's interaction also began to decline. Social identity and the sense of belonging were seriously impacted. The new urban district of Zhenze, which is the most obvious area of urbanization, is built up by a large number of gate communities. But as people are still used to the lifestyle along the river, there will be a large number of people coming to the river every night to exercise. However, because of the community's work, which makes people need to go around in long distance to reach the waterfront, the lack of public space has led to a serious problem, which is the competition among residents for the activity space. With too many residents and small sites, the crowd in the square has split into different groups. Different groups play their own active music and compete for their own control of the square, which has brought many troubles to local residents. But the government is aware of the situations and has taken measures. A large wetland park is in the process of planning and construction. There are much more public space for residents to entertain. At the same time, the government also stipulated that the newly built residential quarters will no longer have walls, and the existing walls will be gradually demolished. People who live along the water are just like the water here. Water can hold everything. In the past, the canal brought the products and culture of different cities in China, and has sold the famous silk industry to them. In the conversation of local residents in Zhenze, we found the cultural fusion that lasted for several centuries, not only to live along the water, but to keep them in the spirit of water, which is tolerant. In the next step, we will focus on how to solve popular issues and how to balance demands of different groups of people using public space in Zhenze.